The Fall of Windsor Tower. In the heart of Chicago stood the giant glass building of the Windsor Empire, and Julian Windsor sat on the 66th floor of that building, looking down on his empire. Julian believed that he was beyond the reach of ordinary people. To him, business meant war, and kindness meant weakness. Julian's favorite quote was, "A tiger never cares about the opinions of a sheep." The cracks began. One day, his chief engineer, Elena, entered his office with a file. "Julian, the ground in our new housing project on the lake is cracking. We need to stop work now." Julian pulled out his expensive cigar and smiled softly. "Elena, you're too scared. I bought that ground with money. It won't dare to move. Keep working." Elena tried to interrupt, but Julian stopped her, saying, "I have a press conference tomorrow morning. I don't want any small problem to get in the way of celebrating my success." The ultimate arrogance. The next morning, as Julian stood in front of the TV talking about his success, his phone notifications started ringing like crazy. The largest bank in town had canceled his loan because the engineer Elena had resigned and leaked all the information, but Julian was still calm. He looked at the camera and said, "The Windsor brand is not a glass house that can collapse at any crack." At that moment, the windows in the room shook. Far away on the shore of the lake, his dream project began to collapse. Not only the building, but also the wall of false pride that Julian had built for a long time collapsed with it. The collapse. Within a week, Julian lost everything. His luxury cars, expensive suits, and so-called friends all vanished like camphor. At the end of the story, Julian is seen sitting alone on the shore of that lake in Chicago. He no longer has an expensive cigar in his hand, but a cup of cheap coffee. He looks at the ordinary people on the side of the road and realizes he thought he was a tiger, but in fact he was just an arrogant prisoner inside a glass cage. Story summary. This story is a reflection of America's corporate grid or business greed. Julian's downfall was not just financial, it was his moral downfall.